What is going on, everyone? It is the Instagram edit of the day. I wanted to come in and pretty much every time I post an Instagram, do a behind the scenes look and see how I do things. Hopefully, to give other people ideas and just the philosophy for me is that there's no right way to do everything. So, this is the way I do it, and maybe you can get something out of it. I'll take you, it won't be like a really in depth tutorial. I'm just going to show you what I do roughly when I post. So, I have a series of photos that I took in 2015 with let's say I had two lenses, a 35 millimeter and an 85 millimeter on a Fuji. And two of my favorite, I mean, I used to shoot lots of weddings just with those two lenses. So they're really versatile. And I was going up and down the roads in Arlington, Nebraska, and just trying to find some cool stuff. And I found this really amazing homestead near Arlington at like early morning, and you could see the sun coming through, and it's glistening. The dew is all over the grass. It was a really pretty morning. 2015. I have a lot of new stuff, but one of my favorite things every day when I post is to go back to old stuff and maybe find things that I didn't see before, and that is a good reminder to go back through old stuff, especially with new eyes. 5 years since I've shot these photos gives me a new perspective on what I like and what I don't like, and especially opens up, the more experience you get, it opens up possibilities for edits that you didn't even know you could do, or you didn't have the eye to be able to go and do. And so I wanted to look at these photographs to see if there's anything that I could like pull out and put on Instagram. So I'm looking, just what I was looking at was just trying to find a way to put that barn in the background. But this like storage shed is in front of it, which is kind of uglier. So I don't think I was really successful doing that. And I started to notice that, and I think that's why I focused on the fence. And I kind of like that lens flare coming through. The sun is really blazing over here, but I don't mind it too much. This is kind of cool, but I'm not going to post this. It's too awkward. And I really like the house here. You can see this cool garage addition they put on. They just basically just hacked it onto this house, which is kind of cool. I love the old details of this thing. The old houses had details that we just don't get anymore. That old broken down, that porch is amazing, and cool spot. But of course, I'm shooting in a way that's shooting towards the light, which is just completely blowing out the sky. So I wanted to see if I had any photos, and I've posted this one before. If I had any photos here that would be something I could look at editing, maybe. So I like a couple of these. I like this one. I don't think I've never done anything with this one. You have this pathway to this house, and you have low depth of field. So I'm focused here right in the middle, and you see all these blades, but you get blurry in the foreground and blurry in the background, and that kind of adds an air of mystery. You could tell that this is a rundown house. I kind of like this one. Let's see. I like this too. You can, it's even blurrier in the background, maybe a little too blurry for what I was going for. I like the little water drops on the green. That's cool. I kind of like this one. You could see this little pathway. I bet you that was the old like sidewalk that went to the house. I don't even know. It's kind of cool. I like the windmill, but I don't like the sky very much. So I think this one might be good to do a crop on. So I'm going to go over here. I'm using Lightroom CC, and the crop tool is right up here. I'm going to click on the crop tool, and I am going to go to the, for Instagram, it's a 4x5. So I'm going to turn this photo into a vertical photo, and I'm going to use Instagram crop to do that up and down. So I'm going to make my crop so I'm mostly seeing the pathway and then the house, and I'm cutting a lot of the other stuff that I want to see. I want the pathway to lead the viewer into the house, and for the house to have the details that you can see. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. I like that. That's fun. So this is one that I've never really edited before. I'm gonna go into the controls, the basic controls here, and look, one of the things that you do is you figure out what your output is, like what you're going to do with the photograph. And right now I know that I'm just going to post to Instagram, so I don't have to worry too much about my highlights and my shadows, because Instagram is viewed really small, and it compresses the stuff anyway. It's not that big of a deal. If I was going to print this, I'd be worried about highlights and shadows and how they would look when they were printed. So I'm just going to try to make this look good for Instagram. I can look at my histogram. We'll do an Instagram video, histogram video someday. But my histogram's showing me that I'm kind of underexposed. I got some peaks of highlights, which is probably the sky and the side of the house here. And I'm just going to shift everything up a little bit. It lowers the contrast on this, and it makes the brights too bright. The sky is almost white. I don't really care too much because, again, I'm going to post on Instagram. And I mean, I care about what they look on Instagram, but it's not going to impact the photograph to have a little bit of highlights blown, at least in my opinion. I'm not that worried about it. I'm also going to warm it up. So this photo was taken, this is in the shade, so the camera, it was a little bit cooler. It made the decision to cool things down, and this is just a JPEG. I didn't shoot in RAW, which some people say you always should shoot in RAW, and yeah, I just don't always shoot in RAW. Sometimes I want to shoot in JPEG, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and warm it up because it is too cold. If you look at the house, it doesn't look white. It looks bluish. So I'm going to warm it up until it looks the way I want it to. Right around there. And I like that a lot already. I might adjust the contrast a little bit. And you could do the contrast in a couple different ways. This does a contrast to everything. You could do local contrast. You could do only like your whites up here. You can make the whites brighter, and then whites, you bring the details back into the whites. You can make the shadows brighter or darker. I kind of like the darker shadows, so I'm going to lower the shadows. That helps to make the path more apparent. And I think I like the way the bottom of the photo looks pretty well. I think that's cool. But I'm gonna make that even warmer. So I don't want to make the house any warmer. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to use the linear gradient, which is a great way to selectively edit parts of the photo. And I'm going to make the gradient go up to here or so. Maybe adjust it a little bit. I'm going to make it go down a little bit more. And then I'm going to warm this part of the photo up. Do you see how it's warming only that section up and not the top part? I like that because it's going to bring the eye down here, and then a pathway going to the house leading and the eye towards where you want it to go, which is what I want to do. I want them to feel like they're able to be standing here and walking through a path, and they're there to see this house. It's kind of my thing with this photograph right now. And I think, am I done? This might be it. This might be my Instagram shot. I like this. So I'm going to export. And for Instagram, I go ahead and just go to export. I'll choose small, export one photo. I'm going to throw it on my desktop, and that's my Instagram edit. The one thing I do like about Lightroom CC is it keeps this edit, so if I want to do something different in the future, and I could do it on my phone or on my iPad or anywhere else that I wanted to edit a photo or look at a photo, I'd have these edits saved. And of course, since it's Lightroom, you could always revert back to the beginning. So let's real quickly reset it to the, let's show the original. You can just do the keyboard shortcut. That's what I started with. And that's what I ended with for Instagram. Pretty cool. I like that. It's a lot of fun. Okay, that's the Instagram edit of the day. You'll see it on Instagram. If you want to see anything else, I'll put my Instagram link below. And if you have questions or anything like that, let me know. Especially let me know if there's any kind of videos I can make that are helpful to help you out. Have a good day. We'll see you guys.